today and welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Crystal Paco, so glad you could join us. The Guam Fire Department's 21st fire cycle is at the midway point of their 6-month training. Last Friday, the fire recruits underwent testing for the skills portion of their emergency medical technician certification. Joe Nugancharfaris gets a closer look.
All right, sir. My name is Arlene. I am from the Guam Fire Department.
Despite losing a couple of days of training due to Typhoon Mangkhut, Battalion Chief Dean Uggan, who is the cadre for the fire cycle, says it didn't deter the 45 fire recruits from preparing for their skills testing portion of their emergency medical technician certification.
Once they're done with that, then they begin their actual independent testing.
Uggan says that the fire recruits must complete their tests through a nationwide testing institution. Luckily, such an institution exists on island.
These individuals, they go in by themselves and they take the national test.
This testing is critical to their journey on finally becoming a firefighter. While they are individually testing, they will be academically challenged as they move right into the next phase of training focused on fire, rescue, and emergency response of the profession. Tons of information will be fed to them like a charged fire hose that will challenge them technically and physically.
These recruits are GCC students. Of course, they're employees of the Guam Fire Department. But certain criteria must be met.
One of them is a skills portion, which includes medical and trauma assessment, neck and spine immobilization, long bone stabilization, CPR, automated external defibrillation, oxygen administration, bag valve mask, airway adjuncts, and non-rebreather mask.
We have a lot of volunteer firefighters coming in and a few on-duty firefighters that come in and they proctor their tests. And it's scripted, it's defined, and each recruit has to go down each stage and cover what's required.
The cycle concludes training sometime in November. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Joe Nugancharfaris.
Coming to the aid of our brothers and sisters in Rota who are slowly picking up the pieces after Typhoon Mangkhut are the Guam Fire Department and the Western Pacific Islands Association of Fire Chiefs. Recently, they conducted a relief drive, and together with the generous contributions from the community and businesses, collected over 10 pallets of canned goods, butane stoves, flashlights, and other necessities. Assisting with the transportation was Coast Guard Sector Guam, loaded on the USCGC and Kiska, living up to their name as the Guardians of Micronesia. The pallets of cargo were underway to Rota on Wednesday, September 19th. Within 5 hours, the Mayor of Rota, Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services, and Port of Rota Police were in receipt of these much-needed supplies. It was late last week when GFD began collecting donations at their Agate and Tamuning fire stations, as well as their headquarters in Hagutnya. Acting Fire Chief Joyce Nicholas expressed his sincerest appreciation of the Guam community. Guam recently received $75,000 in federal funding for outdoor recreation and conservation projects. The money is from the Land and Water Conservation Fund and is part of some $100 million that will be divided this year among the states and territories. Congress established the LWCF in 1965 to ensure continuing public use and enjoyment of outdoor recreation areas. A popular tablet computer is making a big difference for technicians at United Airlines. The carrier is currently the only one using the Apple iPad for immediate access to technical information. As Nestor Laconta reports, the new program has led to greater efficiency and less delays for aircraft maintenance.
Using the iPads means, for one, technicians don't have to go back and forth from a desk computer to check on parts or confirm procedures, says lead technician Derek Dondoyano.
Before, they used to give us paper copies of maintenance manuals and stuff like that, and that's what we went off of while we're doing our maintenance work. Now everything is just information is just passed from the computer straight to the iPads. We go from there. Everything is done through the iPad. No more running back and forth to our computers in the inside. Saves us a lot of time.
The iPad application was developed specifically for United Airlines with input from technicians across all of UAL's hubs, says Nilsson Pan, Director of Technical Operations.
Basic information that we would usually sit at a computer and do maybe 40 or 50 different transactions to get that information now is on one click on the iPad itself. And all that information is right there for you. So it makes the technician's job so much more easier.
He says new technology also means information can be passed on in real time, so technicians are ready even before the aircraft arrives.
Now, 2 hours, an hour and a half, 3 hours out, he can send a ACARS message to us with the write-up. It enters into the logbook automatically. The technician will get it. He can start troubleshooting right then. He can pull up his maintenance man, he can pull up the IPC, he can pull up order parts. He can do all sorts of stuff prior to the airplane rolling in, so when it does actually gate, he'll have everything ready for that particular airplane.
Pan says besides saving on time and improving efficiency, another benefit is simply saving on the amount of paper that's generated by not having to use the old logbooks. United sent trainers here for the Guam staff who are really embracing the program.
It's got a lot better with iPads.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Help is on the way for Guam residents who suffer hearing and vision loss in the form of federally funded technology to stay in touch. Carmen Terlahi has the story.
She's the regional representative for the Helen Keller National Center for Deafblind Youths and Adults. Earlier this week, Kathy Kirshner made a stop on Guam to expand a federally funded program called ICANN Connect.
It's important for anybody who has combined hearing vision loss that they're not isolated, and the whole project started because a group of young deafblind people went to the FCC and simply said, we can't call 911.
So far in its first year on island, only 3 individuals have taken advantage of the services, federal money that Kirshner says is lost, if not used. Rudy Borja, who just moved back home to Guam from living in San Francisco, in fact, taped the discussion with his tech.
I was diagnosed with glaucoma in 2001, and my vision had gotten weak over the years to the point where I don't even see you.
From his perspective, developing technologies such as iPhones, large iPads, and computers can help.
For me, having an iPhone that allows me to get my messages, to make calls, and to navigate is very helpful.
Though he does note many on Guam are afraid of speaking up and reaching out.
I do know that there are people who don't want other people to know that they're visually or hearing impaired. I think that they should take advantage of the services and new technology that is available to them so they can have a better quality of life.
If you know someone who qualifies for these benefits, you are encouraged to pick up an application at the Guam Department of Integrated Services for individuals with disabilities or online at iCanConnect.org. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Meet the man behind the camera. Manny Labroto is back on Guam this weekend for his 3rd photography workshop. Whether you're a professional or simply snapping photos for your Instagram, you'll want to listen up. He was a high school teacher who traveled in his spare time.
That's where photography came about. You know, I need to document my travels, so I bought a point and shoot, and then it grew from there.
That was nearly 2 decades ago. Manny Labroto has since turned his passion into his profession. Fast forward to the present, he's been internationally recognized for his work, including being named one of the world's 5 best photographers that you probably haven't heard about.
It's very humbling, but then that title was bestowed to me in 2009, and right now there are so many good photographers. And you can only learn every day, you know. Even if I had that title in 2009, I feel that I still have a lot of things to learn. So photography, just like any field, is a continuous learning.
That's what brings him to Guam for his 3rd workshop, Finding Inspiration.
You have to inspire to be inspired. And I always feel that whenever I go to Guam, because the people here are very receptive. And there's so much talent that I feel I can, you know, tap into. I think there's a lot of things that changed in my photography between the time when I last did my workshop in here up to now. So I think I'll be bringing in something new.
10 local photographers are participating, and you can't forget the local models, makeup artists, and stylists.
I want to bring in a bit of the Guam culture in my picture.
They'll shoot on Saturday with edits to be done on Sunday.
I teach how photographers how to enhance what they have photographed.
His best advice?
To find the light. In photography, you always have to find the light. You have to bring out emotions in your photos. In that emotion can either come from your model or from the environment or from the way you use you show the context.
And when it comes time to document your next adventure,
I think they have to make their picture different. I think if you go to a place, for example, you take a look at the postcards taken from that place, and then you can ask yourself, how do I make this different? If you make your picture look more different, whether it's good different or bad different, it elicits a lot of reaction from viewers, and then they start to remember you.
welcome home to these 8 airmen with the Guam Air National Guard. This is a photo of the group back on island at AP Wonpat International Airport. The group spent the last 6 months in the Republic of Korea. It's out there they were supporting multiple military construction projects. More when Weekend Edition returns.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
When we face an uncertain path, when we struggle with life's challenges, and when the unexpected happens, it's a beautiful day. We rely on the people we trust, it's a beautiful, who we can always count on. And the ones who give us the most care throughout the years. Rely on Calvo's Select Care to give you the comfort and security you need wherever you are. Gov Guam employees, retirees, and survivors, enroll today.
Half a day, hungry drivers. Are you spending more time on the road? Shell has teamed up with Wendy's so you can buy fuel and eat free. Just fuel up 7 gallons at any Shell station and get a coupon for a Wendy's cheeseburger or chicken nuggets. Or use 2 coupons to redeem a Wendy's cheeseburger meal with fries and a drink. Fuel up at Shell today because this deal won't last long. Quality service, fuel and food from Shell and Wendy's.
Half a day and welcome back. Many headlines covered this week caught your eye either on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Now time to take a look at what you had to say. Asha?
Hi everyone and welcome to Trend Spotting. Here's what caught your eye on social media this week. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio told KUAM News earlier this week he will be found innocent when he has his day in court. The Republican gubernatorial candidate says that the charges against him are politically motivated. He blames former Adaloop staffer Troy Torres for it all. Tenorio says GPD and the AG only took action because Torres filed a complaint about Tenorio's gun grab incident at the barbecue block party in Tumon back in July. He is set to appear in court to answer to the charges, which include reckless reckless conduct, obstructing government function, and official misconduct. Here's what several of you whipped out in our comments section. Jonay Shaw says, "Are you serious? No crime? Yet if this was any other person, the crimes would be worse." And Ray Tomata says, "So let's all try grabbing a police officer's gun and we will see the outcome." An uptick in military men and women in our area this week. Peace through strength is the motto for the USS Ronald Reagan, who is keeping with their mission in part of this year's Valiant Shield Joint Force exercise, testing U.S. military capabilities just miles off of Guam. For some soldiers and airmen, the training is a homecoming. KUAM was invited aboard the Reagan. In total, there's 15 surface ships, more than 160 aircrafts, and 15,000 personnel from the U.S. Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps training. Here are how some reacted on Instagram. Pimalo says, "Yep, that's my playground, everyday grind." Batman on the Moon says, "Shout out to my fellow ABEs. Hashtag green jersey." And Lakeisha says, "There's Guam people in this pic." Valiant Shield training continues in the Marianas until September 23rd. Inetnang Pago placed third at the 2018 Chonan World Dance Competition, one of the largest and most prestigious cultural dance competitions in the world. The week-long festivities featured many countries from around the world, with an estimated 1 million people in attendance throughout the week. Congratulations, Team Guam, from all of us at KUAM and our followers on Instagram. Here's what some of them had to say. Becky Lynn says, "Wow, nice, at least in the top 10. And Junior_Pangolinan says, "Congratulations, Biba Guahan." Thanks for joining us. Catch us next week for more trend spotting.
Thanks, Asha. Crime Stoppers is up next with Jason Salas.
Advances in technique and medications used to prevent dental pain have shattered the myth that a dental visit is something to fear. Even the dreaded root canal or wisdom tooth extraction. Swabbing or spraying a topical numbing agent on before the injection and using different techniques and anesthetics can create a relatively comfortable or pain-free injection. Injections are often the most feared procedure. Some patients don't like the sounds or the vibrations of decay removal. If you're still nervous or you gag easily, despite these techniques, very safe oral medicines can be taken before your dental appointment to eliminate all fears, or some clinics use nitrous oxide gas. Pain relievers can easily be prescribed to eliminate mild to severe dental discomfort after any visit. For your Helpful Dental Minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do.
The Good Life, all month long on the stations and networks of KUAM. Check the KUAM News app or KUAM.com for all program listings.
Okay, everybody, Hafide, and welcome back. Now, I want to tell you all this. If you're a student in a school, it doesn't matter if your parents pay tuition or if you go to public school and you don't pay to go there at all. It's your school. You got to take ownership of it because it is yours. Sergeant Paul Tapau is here with GPD, and we're going to talk about precisely this. Sergeant, welcome back.
Hey, Hafide, thanks for having me again.
All right, you and I went to public school. We also went to private school, but predominantly we went to public school. Was there ever so much of a sense as what you're trying to do right now with students and telling kids that, hey, take ownership of your school. If you see something, report it, because this is your property, this is your identity, and this is who you are. You deserve the right to defend it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with the efforts and what we're doing at the Guam Police Department and our community-oriented policing strategy, is one of the things that we're targeting is the youth, and primarily the kids that are attending the schools, predominantly our public school system. And when I go into the schools, I exactly tell them what you just mentioned. This is your school. You have the obligation and you have the responsibility to take ownership of it. And not only by taking ownership, this is your second home. You have to treat it like your second home.
You're a visitor in their turf.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I mean, they welcome us and everything, but after the gates are closed, you still have the responsibility of assuring that your school stays safe. And it's unfortunate that over the typhoon week that we had, you know, when the schools were closed, you know, preparation for the recovery, a local high school up in the northern area was a victim of a burglary. And it really is, you know, we're reaching out to the kids and we're asking them, take back your school and take ownership. You are the ones that can prevent this from happening by talking to your peers, by you know, providing information, by coming forth and saying, hey, enough is enough. We're going to take back our school.
Okay, now you know what kids are going to do. They're going to say, Sergeant Tapao, I really want to make a difference, but I think I know who's behind this. They're from a bad part of a bad neighborhood. They can come after me. You know, their cousins. You know, they might start something and everything like that. I just don't want to get me and my friends in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And
what can they do?
We've talked about this and we stress this with the Crime Stoppers program, you know, and we practice full anonymity. We understand the pressures of being a student in the school, what more middle and high school. And that's the beautiful thing about the Guam Crime Stoppers is that we give them an avenue in which you can report crime and still remain anonymous. And the beautiful thing about that is that you can use any handheld device. You can even Google our app, the P3 tip program, or you can visit our website at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. If you really feel that you don't want to feel the pressures from your peers, but you want to make a difference, all it takes is that one individual, that one student who has a sense of pride in their school to bring change and to make a difference within their school. So hit us up at Crime Stoppers. Visit us at guam.crimestoppersweb.com.
Okay, and apropos, we're going to talk about a crime that happened up at Sanchez. That's my school.
That is your school.
Yeah,
so
I graduated 26 years ago, and this still hurts me.
Yeah, you have every reason to be upset, but you should also have every reason to be concerned that, you know, this is actually, from what we're looking at, could be actually done by students who attend the school. Okay, so everybody at the home of the Sharks, this one's for you. Let's find out how we can solve this crime.
On Tuesday, September 11th, officers from the Dedado Precinct Command responded to a burglary call at Simon Sanchez High School in Jigo. Now, the preliminary report suggests that officers while on patrol responded to an activated alarm call at Simon Sanchez High School. As officers arrived, they discovered an unsecured door by the school's gym that led into the main building of the school. An assessment was made where they noted numerous classrooms had been broken into and discovered graffiti markings on the wall depicting the words of PBSK and DUKLT. And the Guam Crime Stoppers and the students from Simon Sanchez High School are reaching out to the community for assistance relative to this case. If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
Okay, Sarge, good job as always. Is there anything else other people should know about taking responsibility from your school? You don't have to be in student council. You don't have to be an officer in student government. Everybody that goes to that school has an equal voice. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Practice good stewardship, you know, be a good student, be a good fellow classmate. And just, you know, when you see something wrong, don't be a part of the problem. Find a solution to that. You know, be a solution-finding individual that makes the right choices. And, you know, it really is, you're a high school student, you should be college preparatory or vocational trained. Your training should come in. This is your time where you need to employ critical thinking and making good decision-making skills, because it is, you know, you are that pathway where you're going to become an adult. And, you know, one of the few traits in what we're looking for in productive citizens is making good decision-making skills and exercising better judgment. So please, again, we're asking the students of Simon Sanchez, if you know who committed this break-in, give us a call. There's a cash reward waiting for you in the end.
All right, Sarge, good to go. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us again.
All right, everybody, at the home of the Sharks,